Okay. We are in for fun times. I don't know about everyone listening. Lots of you are probably in tier 3, tier 2. Tier 2 is a myth. You guys are allowed to play. You're allowed to drink in pubs. That's unbelievable. 3 of us are tier 4 at the moment, which does mean we're allowed to play golf still, which is the most exciting news. In 2 balls, though, so I'm sure that we will be getting out at some point over the next few weeks. We'll hear about that in a few moments. However, this has probably limited what we're able to do somewhat, but chaps, what have we been up to? What's going on? Give me a kind of a rundown if we've been doing anything. Have we played any golf? What have we been up to? Ben, you can go first.
I've got 2 more days left of isolation after contracting COVID.
Yes.
So,
yes.
No, absolutely nothing. I mean, the putter has received a full working out on a daily basis, but I mean, still, you can't really replicate a golf course. So I'm still expecting it to be icy cold by the time we get back out there. No, pretty much been doing nothing. No stories of note.
Nice. Awesome. Timbo.
Yeah, firstly, apologies for leaving you two in the lurch last time out. Busy times.
We had
but
we've got a question, Tim, though.
Yeah.
Can we ask a quick question about that? Because last week we told the fans that you were doing more important things, but actually coming in and looking at finding a house, etc. And the thing that Ben and I were talking about, we were wondering whether distance to golf clubs had been factored into your decision of buying a house or not.
I mean, I'm surprised you're even asking me that question. It's been extensively researched. Don't you worry. I'm delighted to announce that in the potential, it's still a potential.
Potential.
There will be 8 golf courses within a 25-minute radius of the house. The nearest driving range would be a 9-minute drive away. It has a tracer. So very, very excited. Disclaimer, the golf element wasn't the determining factor in where I'm potentially moving to, but it's obviously a lovely, lovely bonus.
Sure.
So that's been going on, and they're not huge amounts of golf because the weather's been awful. So just a bit of range action for me.
Nice.
And then I did try and go for. I snuck out the other day just to do a bit of half an hour's worth of putting, just sort of on a lunch break. Just thought it was one of those where just like everyone, we're sort of housebound in terms of work at the moment. So I thought, you know what, if I get a chance to just get outside for half an hour and just do some putting, I'm out of the house. It's something good and functional to do. And also, I still just suck at putting, so I just need to get better at that.
We're going to come on to New Year's resolutions later, but I feel like that might be one of yours. I've also, since the range session last time, I'm trying to think when did we do the testing? Was that last week? No, that must have been the week. Oh, that was last week. Yeah, I think that must be the last time that I hit the range. Is that the last time I hit the range? Crap, I don't know. This week's gone. This week's flown by. So yeah, limited golf from us. So that's a nice, quick, short section for us. This is normally the part that drags on for Ben talking about his round for about 45 minutes. So that will we'll move on from that. There was some golf on over the weekend. It was the PNC Championships. Now, obviously, I mean, if you have Instagram, Facebook, a TV, you'll have seen the 2 people that were being focused on. I'm going to throw in, I'm not even sure anyone else was playing, according to any of the coverage or highlights that I've seen on social media or even on YouTube. You try and watch highlights. So, but did you guys watch any of the competition, the father-son, daughter, whatever set up? What did you think of it? What were your thoughts? Give me the rundown. Timbo, I'll come to you first.
So I just lapped this up, to be honest. We've spoken a bit about how there's a bit of a need to broadcast sort of different types of events, and not always whether it be team matches or different locations or environments. I thought this was just a really nice. It's a nice thing anyway. The sort of the family setup. So just disclaimer for anyone who's not sure that the PNC basically is a pro playing with another member within their family. That's as simple as it gets. Obviously, any pro generally has another pro in their family, whether it be a coach or whatever.
Yeah, do they have to be excellent golfers, or can they be golfers as well? Like what?
Well, I mean, from the evidence of the weekend, just if you are a PGA Tour golfer, then one of your parents is probably a gold star instructor or an ex-pro.
The only I was going to say, to enter the professionals of the championship, which I didn't until after watching it, is when I read that, and I was thinking back and going, I feel like that is accurate. Or the players at some point in their careers. For me, it was quite cool seeing like Leeds in there, but yeah, give me the rundown. Tim, what was the
So
Tiger?
Clearly, Tiger and Charlie were always going to be the absolute focus. I'm actually going to come on to him in a little bit. I'm actually going to start off by talking about JT and his dad, because under the radar, not a lot of people were talking about how their opening round, they opened with 7 consecutive birdies. So that just kind of gives you a demonstration of the kind of expertise that was going on. And just dovetailing just beautifully.
Did you see their second round?
Yeah, ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Was it 15 under par? so for people listening, the format. So just for people listening, the format is a scramble, and this is a format that I absolutely love. This format, and so you just make sure you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but you both tee off, you pick your best shot, and you then play from there. Both play from there, pick your best shot, play from there, pick your best shot, all the way in. Right, that was the format. So if you've got 2 very good golfers, you're expecting some scores, like that's kind of expected. 15 under, I think JT and his dad were on day 2.
Yeah, I mean, just even in a scramble, that's just ridiculous scoring. I think their winning score was 25 under. So that just illustrates kind of
from 2 rounds. From 2 rounds.
Just bananas. But yeah, I mean, coming back to, if you like the main event, if you like. So Charlie Woods, I believe, is the youngest participant in this event's history. The whole time it's been going.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. No one ever younger, and he's 11, I think.
11.
And there was just so much cool stuff going on. The fact that they were dressed matching every day was brilliant, including the obligatory Sunday red, black trousers, black cap on Sunday. But it's just awesome because they are literally a mirror image. Charlie's just a mirror image of Tiger. The swing is the same. The kind of mannerisms around the course, like even like how he puts the tee down, is exactly the same as Tiger. And just obviously just a really, really good golfer. I mean, he's 11. I will never have a swing in the same planet, in the same universe as his swing. When he hit the, when you're taking a 5, it was the 5th hole on the first day, I think it was. He took a 5-wood from 175 yards out, and I reiterate, he's 11, 175 yards out, hits a 5-wood 4 foot from the pin.
But it was like a draw down the corner, and I was just getting is this kid for real? This is nuts.
Yeah. So and the only thing I would say is actually it was interesting watching Tiger, because I think it's fair to say he's not exactly had a vintage year this year. He's not had a huge amount of wins. He just looked way better than I think he's looked for a long time. He's just maybe there's a thing of just enjoyment.
Yeah,
just kind of like he just throwing arrows, dropping on the green, just very in control of his game. Nothing really going awry. I mean, obviously, you could say at the same time, it's not a fully competitive event, But I don't know, maybe there's an enjoyment factor of playing with Charlie that pushed him on a bit. I just thought it was awesome.
Yeah, he was very relaxed, wasn't he?
Yeah, very much so.
Ben, thoughts on the weekend? Did you enjoy it?
I mean, I have to admit, I didn't watch it much of the live coverage. Didn't feel like I needed to because I took a glimpse on social media, and you kind of got the full gist of what was going on. I do. I know Tim was we're going to come onto it in a little bit. I do feel for Charlie Woods. I think other than Tiger, there has never been such a hype around a golfer in the history of the game, and so much pressure on a kid that's probably 10 years away from being a professional, possibly less, if he decides to skip college altogether. So I kind of felt at the weekend you had to almost didn't really need to watch it because I knew exactly what was going on kind of at all times through social media. So no, didn't watch any of it. Just kept up to date through that.
And they finished 7th. Tiger and Charlie finished 7th in the end. Who won it? JT and his dad won it. Yeah. And to be fair, the Vijay Singh and his son, I think he played with, they were in second. They were only a shot behind. So they did 260s in a row, which is also excellent golfing.
Vijay, and you know, it's great, by the way. The game is still there. He's jacked, moves well.
But there were some great pairings out there. Gary Player was out playing some excellent. Lee Trevino was out. It was just excellent. It was excellent to see some of the players out. I just thought it was a really, really good, fun, relaxed vibe. And I think the more I see Justin Thomas in situations like that, the more I like him. Like, I already like the dude, but he was having banter with Tiger and Charlie. He was just loving life and enjoying himself. And I think I really like seeing that on the course. Again, I know it wasn't a fully stocked event, but I think it's nice to see him. He's very, very relatable at the moment, I feel.
No, I agree.
So question then on your Tiger Woods, right? And you had all this hype around Charlie. Do you try and hide him from it?
Yes.
I kind of feel like he's an 11-year-old kid. If he's got social media, he knows exactly who he is, who his dad is, the hype around him, the hype around his dad. I do feel for him. I mean, he was never ever going to have a normal childhood, not with who his dad is. And as soon as he started, there was photos of him picking up a golf club and swinging a golf club. There was always going to be the hype, but I was surprised by quite how much hype and how much talk there was around it. I mean, he does look fantastic the way he swings a golf club for a kid of his age. But it kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say you see it all the time, but there's potential for there to be enough media pressure that by the time he's 16, 17, he goes, no, you know what? Like, I don't want this anymore. It's different for Tiger. He's been around it for 20 years, and he was, he had a little bit of media hype around him from when he was a kid and all through his teens, but nowhere near the level of what Charlie's going to have. And that may cause him to go, nah, it's not for me, which I hope not, because it would be great to see him. But yeah.
Apparently, it's something that happens quite a lot in tennis in the UK. Apparently, again, I don't know a lot about tennis, but I was just reading up on this. Apparently, we have quite a few amazing youngsters start coming through, and then they get a load of pressure piled on them, and then they disappear off into nothingness. And they talk about a lot of this being the media pressure that they're getting at such a young age is just they're not able to, mentally they're not developed enough to deal with that, which I thought was an interesting thing, which is why I asked what do you do with Charlie, who's 11, and he's got at least 7 years, I imagine, before he'll consider going pro. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. How do you, in today's day and age, how do you hide someone from that? I don't know that you can.
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't know if you can. Like, Ben makes a good point. The Tiger growing up, there is nowhere near the amount of media that's around social, YouTube, TV as there is now. Let's remember he's 11 years old. Just let him be a kid for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, don't any more pressure on him. He's already got pressure on him, right? He's had pressure on him since like he was
Day
born.
one.
He's Tiger Woods' son, so he doesn't need anything. So I hope he just gets shielded and just or if he's out in the public eye, it's just for doing stuff like he was doing at the weekend, just playing around a golf with his dad. I think that's as much as hopefully will be.
Having fun. I've just as we move on, I've just realised most people who will be listening to this, it's either going to be Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or beyond Christmas. So I should probably say Merry Christmas. Well done. Like Merry Christmas. What we wanted to do was, we're at the end of the year. What we want to do is kind of do a bit of a reflection on our years, on our games, on the pros, and have a bit of fun with this as well. So what I think we should do now, chaps, is go into the review of our year. And as we do this, we're going to play you. If you've listened for a while back, we did 2 truths and a lie, where we give you 3 statements and the others have to pick out which one is the lie. So we're going to do that with the review of our years within this. Ben, I think I'm going to come to you first. Give us the review of your year, and then throw in the 2 truths and a lie as well.
An analysis of the year, inconsistent, we would say, just based on the fact that it's been COVID. So we've not really known where we're going, what we're doing. So it's been a case of I'll get a few good practice sessions in, play well. We'd be locked down or something, plans would change, and I'd stop practicing for a bit, and then it would almost be kind of restarting that again. Decided to probably quite stupidly try and get a lesson in. What was it? 4 weeks before our big yearly trip, which ultimately got cancelled because of COVID. But I played a lot of golf in that month, a lot of golf that I probably shouldn't have gone to a golf course, and tried to actually ingrain in the changes. But all in, the love for the game has only grown. The fascination for everything to do with golf, and the more golfers that I work with personally on a coaching basis as well, it only kind of heightens the experience of the golf game. So 2 truths and a lie.
Wait, can I ask a question? And if this comes into a 2 truths and a lie, just tell me and we'll go on. Handicap got better or worse, especially with the new handicap system coming in?
It's put me on the spot. I believe I started the year 13.5 and I finished on 11.9. So
nice. Okay,
it has improved. And yeah, so pretty happy.
So inconsistent, but I like for the first half of the year, maybe more than the first 8 months, I was like, Ben is having a bloody good year here. Like he's playing good golf.
Yeah, I was playing some good golf, and then it was kind of personal choice, which kind of derailed that in actual fact. So yeah, and then just COVID related stuff has kind of got in the way.
All right, so two truths and a lie. Give us the rundown. What are we doing?
2 truths and a lie from 2020. Right. In one round, I donated 12 golf balls to one of the finest. Number 2, in 2020, I started watching YouTube videos to try and figure out what was going on mid-round. And number 3, I snapped a club clean in half from throwing it whilst mid-tantrum. Timbo.
I'm gonna say Tim. I'm gonna say he's done all 3 of these things.
He has done. I know for a fact he's done 2 of these things.
The 12 balls was this year. The 12 balls was this year at Purford.
12 balls definitely this year, because I remember talking about it and laughing at it.
Was it Purford or the Wisley? I can't remember. One of the 2.
No, it was the Wisley.
It was the Wisley, yeah.
It was the Wisley, okay. It was the same weekend. You lost like 20 balls in the weekend or something, didn't you?
23 balls in a weekend because I played 3 rounds of golf.
Yeah, so he has. So he's confirmed that. So that's the truth.
To my knowledge, I don't think he snapped a club in anger this year, because generally, not wanting to massage his ego too much, I think his general demeanor and temper has got better this year. Low bar to start with. Has got better. I also think that during his self-described debacle of a month post-round, it's very possible he's had a YouTube session mid-round. So I think.
Wait. I agree with you, but even after all the talk he says about not just going onto YouTube and watching YouTube videos to improve your game.
Yeah, but he spirals when it's not going well. Like any whiff of it going awry, and it just he can fly off the hinges a little bit. So I think the lie is that you've snapped a club this year, because that's the one I don't think has happened.
I would agree.
You would both be correct.
Yeah.
I did start looking at YouTube when we were playing Stoke Park. So this was either the week after or the week before the Wisley. No, it was the week before, because it was not too.
What a cup! Can we just year in review? Can we just acknowledge you played the Wisley and Stoke Park within a week? Like that's two amazing courses you've been able to experience this year.
Got some good friends and played some really crap golf on both golf courses as well. I really got my value for money, that's for sure. Saw a lot of the golf courses.
Amazing. Oh, awesome. I love that. Okay, Timbo.
Yeah, so in terms of my year, I think it started off as it had been for the sort of the previous 12 months, just definition of it inconsistent, probably summarized by our trip in March to Celtic Manor. I've probably never had just a complete mixed bag of 2 rounds where just every kind of shot imaginable was in there somewhere.
Conditions were not easy, though. I will give you that.
To be polite, dog shit. The Celtic Manor on that occasion. Then COVID hit, and obviously went into lockdown. And I think during lockdown, I decided, right, the key to this, and I'm going to really, really try and just nail down a bit of consistency. And that's what convinced me to take up the Play More Golf membership, to figure out, right, cost-efficient way of joining a club and being able to access a golf course and play around at short notice on a summer's, like playing 9 holes on a Friday night after I clocked off from work, for example. I think that has been mega personally for me, because I now feel coming towards the second half of the year that I probably feel right now, I might not be, knocking huge, brilliant scores together, but it's rare now I have like a disaster of a round. I feel like I just got a lot more consistent. That said, still can't putt. Biggest weakness in the game. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with where the year's gone.
Nice. Okay, good. So I was going to lay into you about your putting, and I'm absolutely not going to do that. When I say lay into you, I was going to ask you do you know what your average putts are around at the moment, and do you know what you want them to be?
I think my average at the moment is 36.
Okay, fine. And then we know that Steve, coach in the Sunday Reg Group, always talks about you've got to be at 30 if you're going to score well on a round, basically. Okay, fine. So you're basically thinking there's 5 or 6 shots there that you could knock off.
Yeah, and a bit of a mindset change as well, I think, because I think there's still a bit of me which is
grip change.
No, I'm finally happy with it. I've tried about 7, and I'm happy with the one I've got now. I've actually gone a full year without changing the putting grip. Remarkable.
Wow,
thing.
That is remarkable.
Yeah. But it's a bit of a mindset thing in that
truth or a lie, because I swear that can't be true. Surely
that should be two truths to a lie.
Telling you, that's true. That has not changed in the last year. Love that. That's you think that's you can't believe that. But I think it's a bit of a mentality thing of when I get onto the green at the moment, or historically, I'm always thinking about wherever the first putt is. It's always like, right, just get this close and give yourself a chance with 2. But maybe not enough of the time I'm thinking, no, you get this, drain it.
Yeah,
I've got a chance and get this putt in. So maybe it's a bit of a mindset change as well.
Interesting.
In terms of handicap, in terms of where I've started the year and where I finished the year, I've had a massive drop of 0.2. So I've gone from 18 to 18. I've got myself down to a 17 the week before the World Handicap came in, and then that back up to an 18.
Yeah, nice.
So there we go.
Nice. All right, give us your 2 truths and a lie.
Okay, 2 truths, 1 lie. So in 2020, I skimmed the ball off the water onto the green twice in 1 round. In 2020, I hit a wall directly in front of me up with a tee shot, and the ball came back towards me at a rate of knots. And in 2020, I hit the ball into a residential area, but the ball bounced and came back onto the fairway.
Okay, let's talk this through, Ben. Let's just say recap. So number one, you said, what did you say the first one was?
Skim the ball off
Skim the
water
ball off water
onto
twice.
the green twice in one round.
I've seen him do it, but I saw him do that in Portugal, and I only saw it once.
I think that might be a big ask to do twice.
Where have we played with a lot of water? Did Ben play, did Tim play at Purford? I don't think he did. Did he?
Well, there was a lot of water actually on the course in Celtic Manor when we were there. So maybe it's class in that.
No, he was at Purford. There was a lot of water at Purford. You could have done it at Purford.
There's a lot of opportunity to do that at Purford.
There's a lot of opportunity, like literally on every hole. So he could have done that at Purford. Okay, that's a maybe. Two was you hit off a wall and it came backwards.
Tee shot went into a low wall in front of the tee box, came back towards me at quite the rate of knots.
Where was this? Where did this happen?
I'm not going to give you the name of the club.
That was going to be my question.
I can't give you the name of the club.
Can't give us the name of the club. Okay. Where has he played that this could have happened? Where are there low walls in front of the tee boxes? Well, I feel like if me or you were playing, then you what?
Could be a design fault of the course architect. That I think.
This didn't happen while I was playing because I do not remember this.
No. Actually, no, I don't think. No, played a lot of golf.
This is where he turns around and says, "Chris, this happened with you in the group." I'd be like, "Oh crap." Okay, and third was
hit the ball into a residential area, but thankfully the building I hit it into was still a work in progress.
When you say residential area, like they're building houses along the side of...
Yeah, they were building houses along the side of the course, and it hit off one that wasn't finished and came back onto the fairway.
Again, I have to ask, like, where? I know he's not going to tell us, but where did this happen?
I'm not telling you.
I've just got a feeling that I recognise that story. I kind of feel like that last one is true.
All of these have happened.
Oh, okay,
but not all of them have happened this year.
I feel like number two. I mean, I'm struggling to believe number two has happened, and I feel like I need more of the story, but I just can't picture caning one into a wall and seeing it come flying back at you.
So, I wonder, where did we play? Where was it? We went away for the weekend and we had the final hole was that par 3, sort of downhill over a lake. Headeden Lakes? No, it wasn't Headeden Lakes. Somewhere else we've played. There was lots of little tricky tees with walls and stuff around there. I wonder, but that wasn't this year.
You are thinking of Headeden Lakes, I think, but that wasn't this year.
I'm gonna go for the water was not this year. The skimming the balls over the water was. Oh, but he did play Purford. He did play Purford.
I think that was this year, so I think that is true. I think the lie is hitting a wall and coming back at him. The second one.
Okay, I will agree. I'll agree with you on that. I'll go with that.
The lie from this year is that I hit the ball into a residential area and it cannoned back onto the fairway.
Okay, so tell us, where did these happen?
So the first one, hitting the ball off water into the green twice in one round, happened actually at Toot Hill. One of our early rounds back after the first lockdown. I'd actually just given up on the second time I did it. I just gave up. I just turned around, didn't even look at it. And then I think Sophie, who plays with us, just started laughing. And I just assumed she was laughing at the ball going in the water. Then there was a yellow ball on the side of the green. I was like, that's ridiculous. And I've now done that twice on this round. So, no, that happened. Now the wall. So neither of you were at this played here, which is probably why you can't remember it. So it's Haythrop Park, which is where after our Turkey trip was cancelled, we went there for a couple of days. It's actually, I need to give it again a bit of a nod because I've since checked and apparently it gets terrible reviews. I think someone's put a video out of how it's the worst. It's like the worst reviewed golf club in England, and it totally is not. But basically, it's a very, very long par 5, and you start off basically in almost like a bit of a valley, and you have to hit up onto the fairway before it dog legs round to the left. For whatever reason, there's like a stream or something that they've decided to put an old stone wall in front of, and I just completely towed the drive. Never really got more than about 10, I don't know, maybe 10 inches off the ground, just pinged straight into this wall and came back towards me.
Amazing. I love it. That's fantastic. Okay, great. I got to my review of the year. In summary, I've got significantly worse. Less golf played, less practice by a long way, but I feel like I've actually had a really good year of golf. So handicap wise, I think I started the year on 12.5 and have finished the year on 15 essentially. So at least 2.5 shots worse. And I would say that was absolutely fair. So a fair reflection of my performance this year. That was with the new handicap system. We've had an to Celtic Manor with golf, I'll add, but the trip was good. It was entertaining, and comedy value golf was just awful. We've had a load of Sunday Red events, which have been absolutely amazing, and I've played 9, possibly 10 new courses this year, which I really like. For me, that's a whole part of this game, is going out and finding new courses, playing new courses, and that for me is really cool. And that includes Northants and Camberley Heath, which for me were both excellent courses, and I'm excited to go back and play those. Sure, haven't managed to get onto the Wisley or Stoke Park yet, Fowler, but can't all reach those heights yet. But yeah, so for me, getting out onto those 10 new courses this year that's really cool. So enjoyed that. The worst part of my game this year has, it's all been pretty dire, but I would say two sides to it. One, keeping the ball in play off the tee. Irons have been relatively decent, and short game has not been bad, but it's not, through a lack of practice, it's not been as good as it has been. And I think if I look at like my stats, the big difference is a year ago I was around the green, chip, and often one putt, or at least give myself a chance at a one putt, whereas this year it's been chips minimum. So, and that's where I just think I've lost a lot of shots, which is for me is kind of, I'll come on to my New Year's resolutions in a minute. 2 truths and a lie. Okay, are we ready? got kindly reminded of one of these earlier, so one of these would be very obvious. On consecutive holes, I've whiffed on the tee shot twice, so two whiffs in a row.
Oh, brilliant!
I have played around with 2 pros same day and only lost by 12 shots. I have chipped in 3 times this year.
Well, spoiler: the first one is true.
Yeah,
I witnessed it.
And it was an excellent time.
The best thing, by the way, about when you did do that was the second time you did it, you didn't realize you did it, so you were still looking up.
No, that was the third. No, that was the third shot, Tim. That was the third one. So it went. I will go there. So up until I think it was like the 8th, and I'd hit. Well, we played for 7, and I'd scored 14 points. And I thought, yeah, I'm playing. This was day 1 at Celtic Manor. Playing all right here, putting together a half decent round. Step up onto the 8th tee. Can't remember what club I had in my hand. Just complete whiff. Missed the ball completely. Like no reason for it. Complete and utter shock. Next shot, the shot was fine. Walk onto the 9th. Next tee shot, complete whiff. Completely missed it again. The third one, like the next shot on that tee, I hit the ball so far into the ground in front of me that I don't think I ever got the ball out again. So not quite a whiff. It was almost 3 whiffs in a row, but not quite. So spoiler, that one is true. Yeah.
And then you said second one, you played with 2 pros in the same day and only lost by 12.
Yep, and that I'm not going to give anything away. And then the third one was I've chipped in 3 times this year.
I
Say that again.
You just chipped in 3 times this year total, is what you're saying.
What, should it be more than that? I feel like that's. I feel like I'm quite pleased about my 3 chips in.
It's a great accomplishment. I'm just making sure you're not saying something outrageous like you did it in like 1 round or something.
No, just 3 times total this year.
Right, I think, given the fact that you said your shipping has been rubbish, and the fact that I know that you played a round of golf with 2 pros and you were pretty happy with that, I'm going to have to say your round at Camberley Heath was your round where you lost by just 12. And yeah, I think that's true. And I think your lie is 3 chip-ins, because I think you lie pants on fire. I don't think you did that, mate.
Okay.
I feel that you've dropped it.
Tim, wait, pause. You've gone. You sound like a robot.
Yeah, you have for the last minute, but it's gone real Dalek-y.
For anyone listening, Tim is now
not doing anything. I've not touched anything. No, we're having technical difficulties.
Tim, leave and come back. Well, me and Ben will carry on talking. You leave and come back. Sorry, listeners. We apologise for the delay in our programming here. Tim, I mean, he's taken the role of screwing up the podcast more than you. If the editing, it was you, Fal. It's just internet dropping every 10 seconds. I'll tell you what, I look forward to the day when we can have a studio and do this in a studio.
Yeah, I mean, it would be quite nice.
Tim, talk to us.
Any better?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's back. Okay, great.
So I think you're dropping the chip in thing because you've done it like twice, and you're going to talk about how you've done it twice and how it's really good to have done it twice. So I think it's a rude just to talk about how you've done it, but not 3 times. I also know for a fact that you did have a couple of rounds with pros because we talked about it on the pod.
Yeah.
And I remember how you were saying like one of the pros, or it wasn't even like really paying attention, or he was like basically talking through his strokes as he was hitting the ball. So I think the 3 chip in is a lie, but I think you're going to come out and say something like, I've chipped in twice.
Okay. The lie.
I've rumbled him.
The lie is I played with 2 pros at Camberley Heath. I shot 90 and lost by at least 20 shots.
Okay.
Right. The truth. Is Tim frozen, or is he just like absolutely shocked by this stat? I think he's frozen.
Tim has now gone. So initially, he dunked his microphone in a fishbowl, and now he's
now gone. I just thought he was just blown away by that stat. So yeah, just so the lie is I played with 2 pros and I did not only lose by 12 shots, I got absolutely smashed.
I remember you saying you were good, but 12 shots is really bloody good.
Yeah, I lost by at least 20. And the guy who won it must have been, I mean, he was like 5 under par or something ridiculous. It was ludicrous.
And for those who haven't played Camberley Heath, it's a tough golf course. Lots of heather, lots of trouble. If you are,
I was delighted with how I played. We played off the whites, and I scored 30 points first time playing there off the whites. So I was delighted with how I played. Yeah, just got hammered by the. It was an absolute lesson in that, and I have in fact chipped in 3 times this year. So and I say chipped. There was lots of like. There was one 7-iron bump and run on from the edge of the green.
That's not a putter. It's for me. That's a chip-in. He's back.
He's back.
I'm having a shocker. Sorry. I'm having an absolute shocker.
He's back. So Tim, I don't know where you got to, but essentially the round at Camberley Heath was the I got absolutely but lost by at least 20 shots.
Okay, fine.
And I have in fact chipped in 3 times. So pleased with that.
That's a pretty good year because I know a lot of people that still like haven't chipped in once.
Yes,
Well,
and as I said, I was just saying to Ben while you were disappearing off. It depends on your definition of chip, but basically one of them was a 7, maybe an 8 iron off the edge of the green, like a little bump and run. On, I'm counting that as a chip because it's not a putter.
It's a chip.
Okay, fine. You can have that.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I think that's it. What I want to go on to now is New Year's resolutions. So I want to know, obviously, golf focus. Ben, I'm going to come to you first. Just I'm a bit worried that Tim's internet may drop out again and he'll leave us in a second. Ben, give us your New Year's resolutions. What are you going to do next year, golf-wise? What's the plan?
I think for me, it was something that came up recently when we were, actually, I think we spoke about it. It might have been last week, may have been the week before, when I sent 2 howitzers off kind of not 90 degrees right, but they went dead straight, but I was just aiming way offline. So I think a thing for me, I think particularly because we've spoken about it and we've got some friends who are not necessarily the quickest players in the world, was a little bit conscious of my own pace of play. Now, typically, if you hit things offline, well, you're going to play pretty slowly. So my methodology, my thinking is, right, take that back a step. If something has distracted me, don't be worried, oh shit, I've got to now hit it because otherwise I'll be playing slowly. It's a case of step back, then reset again and go again. Because I'm guilty probably more than anyone that I've gone through my pre-shot routine, I'm stood over the ball, something has distracted me, but I'm like, I'm here now, I've got to take my shot. 9 times out of 10, that leads to a bad shot and ultimately slows the pace down anyway, because I've got to go and look for the ball. So for me, it's to not be rushed at any point and take my time, because me taking my time should mean that it's quite a quick round anyway.
So your solution to slow play is just be a better golfer?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Spend less time in the trees.
Yeah, spend less time in the trees.
So when we get to round 1 in January and you pause, you walk away, you step back up to the ball, you do your pre-shot routine, and then still blitz it into the trees, what can I say to you at this point? Am I allowed to give you any shit for...
Oh, you are fully allowed to give me shit. Bunch of nonsense. Yeah, I won't really know what to come back with at that point. Probably some jibe about distance or something. I don't know.
Sure, yeah. Sure.
Come up with something original then. But, yeah, I'm not really too sure what we'll get then. But currently, I know it's affecting my game because my bad shots typically come when I'm feeling rushed.
Okay. Nice. Anything the main one?
Say that again.
I said anything else, or is that the main one?
Actually, to be fair, it's something that you kind of brought up, which actually kind of stirred up. Like, actually, that's quite a good thing to take forward into the New Year's, to try and play more golf courses. Yeah. I wanted to have a quick look. I kind of didn't when you said it. I don't think I played 10 new courses this year, but I have played quite a few, which I've been fortunate enough to do. And I would quite like to almost set that as a goal, is to keep beating that year on year. You know, go to 6 new ones this coming year and 8 if a year after, and so on. So yeah, I think that'd be quite a nice one to get out and play some courses. I think naturally is going to happen once we get through all this COVID shite.
Yeah, for sure. But once we're allowed to go abroad again and play golf, that's 4 rounds in 1 week that we should get out on new courses. So that target should be hit. Sure. Timbo, how about yourself? What have you got? What are your New Year's resolutions golf wise for the year?
So normally at this time of the year, I'll just go out and say, right, by the end of next year, I'm going to be a ex-handicapper in terms of like going down. But I think what I'm going to go with this year is I'm going to, by virtue of what I'm working on, hopefully we'll get towards it anyway. So the first one, as we've talked about, is putting. Want to get down from around 36, 37 putts around nearer to sort of 30, 31, 32. So the way of doing that for me is every now and then substituting a range session, just literally to go and plonk myself on a green for an hour and a half and just putt, having the discipline to do that. So
can I ask a question on this? I know we've spoken about this briefly, but I think we did it via text.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever had a putting lesson?
No, and I wanted to bring this up because this might not be the right time. We're probably better off doing this in the future. But I considered this. I thought, right, clearly this is, if I look back at all my stats, putting is just continually what lets me down. So if this was, another part of your game, if it was your chipping that's letting you down, you'd go and have a lesson. If it was off the tee, you'd go have a lesson. Putting, for some reason, around with us amateur hacks, even though it accounts for probably about 50% or more of the shots we play in a round, does anyone actually ever go for a putting lesson?
I think some people do. I think we're in the minority here.
You think we're the minority? Okay.
I know.
Oh no, maybe not. No, maybe not.
I don't think I've never. Well, I actually don't know of anyone personally that's been for a putting lesson.
Well, I did the aim point workshop, which was, by the way,
okay, I know one person.
but no, but that's not a. I suppose it definitely is a putting lesson, but it's not a technique lesson. You're not learning technique of how to putt. You're not grooving a technique of how to putt. That's about reading and feeling the greens. So, that for me was excellent. But yeah, I've never had a proper technique putting lesson.
What I'm going to do on this is it's my rule of thumb actually whenever I'm considering buying anything is if I get something in my head that I'm interested in buying, don't buy it there and then. No. Genuinely, the rule is if I'm still considering that specific item in 2 or 3 weeks after the original thought,
you'll buy
that's when I get it. Because then I know it's not a whim. So I reckon if I'm still thinking about having a putting lesson in February, I'll probably just go and do it, to be honest.
I would say if you've even considered it, I would say go and do it.
Yeah.
I would say straight away now, go and do it. Personally, I'd see the benefit in doing 1, maybe 2 tops, but it's like I said in our group chat, we were talking about it.
Maybe I'll go do it and I'll report back on the pod.
Yeah. I've got a feeling it will be a case of you get 1 or 2 tips to set up the basics. It's all going to be about setups. And then putting is so much about feel and pace and then picking your line and seeing the line. I kind of feel like it would be a case of 1 and done, or 1 and check in a year's time sort of thing. But I think
it was interesting because when we did the aim point workshop, Steve Furlong, a coach in the group, also came and did the workshop with us, and even he had a sort of a quick conversation about length of his backswing on the different length putts and how much of a difference that can make. And he was doing it, and he was leaving his putts short, I think he was, and then with just this one tip about distance that he was taking the club back, he was then just dropping it on the mat on the floor. And I was like, wow, okay. And that for me is technique when you're looking at how far should you be taking it back. I'm not even sure I'd be at that level. I'd be like, how do I bring the club face back to the ball square? It's kind of like the level that I'm at.
I wonder if that's just reps though. If that's just a case of now practicing, because all 3 of us, we don't practice anywhere near enough the short game stuff.
100%. Anyway, I've definitely taken us way off topic there, so I apologise.
Yeah.
Back to your New Year's resolutions, Tim.
That's one, and the other one is I'm just going all out there. I'm going out there, and I'm saying, right, New Year's resolution next year is to win one of our society majors. I'm sticking it out there. So within our society, which is the esteemed Fray Bentos Invitational. If you've not seen it on Instagram, go check it out. Very good. We have four events in a year, and they are the Wernham Hog Open, the Whitley Neal Invitational, the Fray Bentos Tour, which is always where we're abroad, usually in Turkey, and then we have the New Year's Eve Open. Now, at the time of recording, I don't know if the New Year's Eve Open is going to happen this year or how it's going to happen. So I'm fixing all my attentions on our majors next year. I'm gunning for them. I'm gonna do a Brooks and
what
pace
about
myself
the majors? What about the race to Fray? What about the race to Fray? Including that in your, if you won that, would you be happy?
Yeah, sure. We can add that to the list as well. Yeah, I'll go for that as well.
Great, love it. I love it. I'm excited for next year's comps already.
Just a bit of context for everyone. I think as currently there are 18 of us in the group. So for you to go and take a major or the Order of Merit title, it's quite a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Quite a big challenge.
For sure, 100%. My New Year's resolutions, I've got basically for me, I need to get into a routine of short game practice. That for me is, I think I'll get the most. I'm going, how do I use my time that I'm able to practice well, effectively, and just hammering balls at the range. There's been moments this year when that's absolutely been necessary. However, there is definitely moments where I could have just taken switched out a range session for a short game, putting, chipping, whatever. I need to build that into my routine. So I think like what you did, Tim, this year, I think I'll definitely go and get like a social membership somewhere at a club near me, and just do short game work over and over and over, and just pop out on a lunch break or after work or whatever. And again, that's what I was doing. What was it, last year before? I was doing that. I was lucky enough to have a course that was literally in distance, and would literally walk up there, had the social membership, and just went on and chipped and putted for an hour like every week. I was like, that's what I need. Then my other two are, again, same sort of thing as what Ben, you said there. Played 10 new courses for me is the kind of goal. And I put 10 because I feel like I should be playing 4 new ones, assuming we go to Turkey. I'll reduce that down to 6. But I want to play a whole bunch of new courses next year for sure. By the way, so if you're listening and you're thinking you could help us, because we don't sort of get out of Surrey very much, way. If you'd like to tell us courses we should, by all means, tell us where we should be going. And the key one for me, play a links course. I've not played a true links course, so I want to change that.
Lofferton?
Oh my word. Lofton Links, for anyone listening who hasn't listened to the pod previously, is the most northerly golf course in the world. It's in the Arctic Circle, but somehow doesn't get completely frozen over. Just Google it. It's unbelievable. It's beautiful. I was more thinking slightly closer to home, like a Prince's in Kent. I know there's Isle of Purbeck or something like that down Dorset way, just somewhere. I want to go right by the sea. I want to get battered by the wind, and I want to have some experience playing some true links. That for me is something I want to go experience next year. I join you, Tim. I always like to set myself a goal of winning one of the champs. My handicap had taken up to 15 point whatever it is. Now I feel like I might have a chance early, so maybe go for the worst. But I feel like this year is going to be more of a what should we call it? A work on my game year. But we'll see. I don't know that I've
working on your game for a whole year. Oh, that's the sound of a confident man.
Confidence isn't high right now. That's for sure.
I'm signing off any progression in the next year. I'm just working on my game. I'm not going to win any tournaments.
Well, I feel like when I say I'm going to win tournaments, I think I would absolutely go to everything thinking I'm going to win tournaments. I've got a New Year's resolution for Ben this year, actually.
Oh God, to win less tournaments.
So year before, I think the me v you, I won. This year, sure, we only had 2 events. Those 1v1s, I won again. So a resolution I imagine to you, Ben, is actually to be a point would be good.
It's fine. I'll take it. I'll take that one.
Fine.
I can't win a major, but I can beat Ben in a 1v1. That's all.
That's what really matters, mate.
That's what really matters. Cool. I like it. So I like those a lot. I think Ben. I like your Ben. What did your one was?
Just
more time.
A little bit more patience, just less rushed. Be out there, enjoy the nice walk.
Play better golf. Nice. Okay, right. Let's. This is a section that I'm excited about. To this one at us, and I'm excited to everybody. The Alternative 2020 Golf Awards. This is our view of things that have gone on that we think need mentioning. We've got several different awards up for grabs here, so I'm going to go through each one and let you guys put your picks out. Starting with best shot of the year, and we've done this, by the way. I'll say most of these are for the pros, so there's only the last 2 that I think are not. So best shot of the year, and I'm going to come to Tim first.
So I reckon I know what you guys are thinking about this award, and I also know what most people will probably have in their head as the best shot of the year. I don't think what I'm going to say is going to be what people are thinking. For me, the most impressive shot of the year, based on the fact it was 18th hole, the tournament was coming to a climax. For me, it was JT's 50-foot putt at the Workday Open when it was him and Morikawa coming down the line. Now, I know that Morikawa eventually went on to win that, but I just thought on the 18th, 50-yard putt with a break, middle of the cup, was just sensational for me. I think that was the one time this year I just watched. I was almost like just speechless when I saw that.
Nice, I like it. Yeah, I want to come back to if the ones that you think people are going to be thinking of as well, because I don't know that I will be using that one either. So we'll go to Ben first. Ben, what was your shot of the year?
So it was kind of something we'll come on to later as well. In terms of it was the kind of the whole performance, and it kind of summed up his performance on the week and the reason why he ultimately went on to win the tournament. And it was Morikawa's drive on the shortish par 4 at Harding Park, the 16th.
Yeah, I've got the same.
Final round, pressure was on. He had such a thin sliver to thread the ball through. All of us go, yeah, we'd take driver, we'd go for it. But this is PGA Championship. This is one of the biggest tournaments in the world, and he has absolutely held his nerve and nailed it. And that for me, clutch. I'm sure that one stood out.
That for me is where that's exactly what I had written down. That for me is where he won it. Like I know he was playing really good golf, but that for me, you stand on that tee and he's 330 odd yards or something, and has put it to what was it, like 4 feet or something? Like it was a ludicrous golf shot. And I just think for me, it was not that I don't think other players were playing similar shots. It was the timing. It was the pressure that he was under at that point. It was what it meant for the next, like where it put him for the next few holes. I think that for me, I would agree with you, was for me shot of the year.
Yeah. I would happily go along with that, actually, on reflection.
Nice. It's like Morikawa, so I'm surprised that didn't come up for you, Timbo.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with that.
I'm intrigued as to what the shot you thought most people would go for was.
I thought, to be honest, I thought you'd mention the John Rahm skimmed hole-in-one at Augusta.
I mean,
but the fact remains, it wasn't a competitive round. It was a bit of a kind of a lark about sort of situation. It was only semi-serious. So whilst, yes, obviously an incredible shot, for me, it's not shot of the year.
I think you got to tip your cap to both DJ and Rahm's putts when they head to head in the Tour Champs. That was pretty close. It was close to those, but yeah, I think just because Morikawa's age and ultimately what it came down to him winning, I went with Morikawa's shot.
Yeah,
very happy with that.
Okay, so shot of the year, Morikawa on the 16th at the PGA Champs. Love it. Okay, then we've obviously got to go for the worst shot of the year. So who for you has racked up the worst shot of the year award? Ben, I will come to you first.
I've got to defend him because he is my guy who worship the ground that he walks on. But unfortunately, I've got two of Big Cats from the 12th at Masters this year. Either the tee shot, which when I watched it, I was thinking, what are you doing? You know, or in the build up to the Masters, I was watching the rerun of last year, and all the commentators were like, look at Tiger using his experience. He's not going chasing after the pin. He's playing to the heart of the green and taking his 2-putt and walking off there. That was the point he won it. What did he do on the 12th? He went pin seeking, put it straight in the drink. And then, which also contends it, is his bunker shot, which he then proceeded to
back
straight back over. It was like 5 or 6 shots later. I think that, unfortunately for me, I think because I love the man, it's gone on there. Because just straight away, as soon as you said worst shot, that was what stuck out.
I know that was when I was reading through some of these, there was just like for me, so Morikawa best shot of the year was the first thing. I was literally like, that's it. There was also one for me for worst shot of the year. Timbo, who is your worst shot of the year?
So my nomination for worst shot of the year was actually a collection, and it was Bryson's 10 at the Memorial when he hooked. So I'll give you a playback of what happened, because you could probably pick the third of these shots as the stupidest one of the year. So he hooked his drive into the heavy rough, right left hand side.
Yeah.
Impossible position. Bryson being Bryson, pulls out his 5-wood, tries to gun it, probably going for the green, smashes it out of bounds. Okay. Next shot. Think, okay, I'll do exactly the same thing again. Takes out his 5-wood again, smashes it, exactly the same thing. Out of bounds, under a fence. So you've done that twice now. Probably do something else. No, he takes the 5-wood the third time and hits it again, and literally just keeps it in bounds. From there, goes on to chip on 2-putt, and he gets a 10. But just hitting 3 consecutive 5-woods borderline out of bounds is just, to me, and look, I'm average. That's just stupidity to me.
He had a proper paddywhack strop in the process as well,
exactly.
and he showed himself right belling the whole time.
Wanted to get a second ruling. Started bringing up how Phil had preferential treatment. So no, first place my head went was that sequence.
Yeah.
I love that you two have gone for. I like where your heads have gone on this, because mine have gone very different. You two have gone for like scenario situations. I've just gone for an all-round shit shot, and that was Rory McIlroy's shot into the lake, which I just cracked as soon as I saw, and I was like, "He's a real golfer. I can do that." That for me was
that was in consideration. I have to admit, that was one of the first shots that came into my head.
That was the most kind of average hacker shot I've seen from a pro this year.
That's what I mean. And there was a couple, and but I couldn't quite get back to highlights of them. Of one of the majors where they were literally just like hacking around, and I was like, this is literally like us lot on a weekend coming out of the rough and hitting it 30 yards. But the Rory one for me, and it was just the camera view of the angle was just straight behind him. Just the ball never went about 2 feet above the floor, just straight into the lake. And I was just like, that for me, I was like, he's a real golfer. He's human. We all do it. So that was my nomination for worst shot of the year. I feel like we should have to pick one. Do we have to pick one? Are we going to have to award one? Or are we announcing each of ours? We're giving away 3 awards here.
No, I think we need to pick one.
Okay.
I think because he's a knob, I would go with Bryson.
Which shots
on ground I don't want to. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Which shot? Probably like the third hack to his 5-wood. The fact that he's been that stubborn to do it twice, and then kicked off with an official, and then to try and do it a third time, and almost put the third one out of bounds.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll give him that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns on that one, mainly because I don't want to give it to Tiger.
Yeah, we definitely want to give it to Tiger. That's fine. Bryson can have the worst shot of the year. Okay, perfect. I've got, again, we'll go on to the next category. Worst Gears Award. Now, just in case you haven't been listening to this podcast, gears, clothing, any item that someone is wearing on tour. Tim, who for you had the worst gears this year?
Well, there were 2 nominees from me, so I have kind of broken my own rules a little bit. The first one is Phil Mickelson, trying to be the T1000.
Sunglasses.
Oh, God.
Looking literally like the T1000 from Terminator 2. Just stop it. It's not appropriate. The other one was Sandy Lyle's effort at the Masters. Just when he turns up in the braces, the button down, the black glove, I don't even know what the Merrill hiking type of shoes. It's got a Schaltar on the side of it. It was just a pathetic attempt at gear.
Okay, so which one? I feel like you have to nominate one. Which one are you going for? I feel like we know.
Sandy Lyle.
Okay, fine. Yeah, like it. Ben.
Now, I wanted to kind of categorize it, but there was just too many people that I would be throwing under the bus, and I couldn't name just one person. But the category was anyone that wears a hat like Bryson or a visor. You fit into. You just shouldn't be on the golf course. Both looks are awful, and there's enough pros that wear visors, and I look at them and think, "What? Come on, pal. What are you thinking?" But there was one moment which, as soon as I saw worst gears, it stuck out for me, because I remember giving him pelters on day 1, and then on day 2 as well. He then went to match it, and it's a guy who's pretty, he's got a lot of style, I think. Anyway, that was Adam Scott at the Masters. I don't know whether you two remember. He was wearing that hideous brown yellow vibes for days 1 and 2. I thought day 1, I'm like, that's awful, but we can let you get away with it because this is one day and you're Adam Scott. You've got a beautiful golf swing and you're typically quite cool. Day 2, he rocks up with the yellow vibes, and I'm sorry, mate. Adam Scott takes it for me.
Okay, fair. Yeah, he was on my list. For sure. For me, straight away, I could only picture one person, and one thing, and that was Phil Mickelson's sunglasses. I was like, what are these? I mean, I think it makes it worse knowing that he's probably getting paid millions of dollars to wear those sunglasses. So yeah, for me, that was straight in at the top.
Yeah,
I'm willing to go for Sam. I think I had totally forgotten about that.
I think in his defense, he might not know better. He's obviously a slightly senior golfer these days. Phil Mickelson and Adam Scott have no excuse.
Okay, so who we go with?
I would say worst accessory, then Phil absolutely runs away with it.
Yeah, okay, so we'll get this worst gears.
We all know accessories come under the qualification of gear. Very important.
Caps, like cappers, surely cappers an accessory too.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. All right.
I think it's Phil's glasses.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with Phil because Adam Scott's pretty cool the rest of the year. So let him have one really, really shit weekend.
Okay, perfect. So Phil Mickelson takes Worst Gears Award. Now, next one. I'm interested to see where you guys have gone with this. Moment of the year. So is this, again, I'm interested to see where you're going. So Ben, let's come to you first. What was your moment of the year?
So it ties into what I'd actually spoken about earlier. And I kind of had to hold myself back instead of getting carried away. It does tie in. It was the shot on the 16th. And I went for Colin Morikawa winning the PGA Champs. Shot a final round 6 under to take the win. And I remember the episode that weekend, we spoke about how many different people had the lead over the course of like a half an hour period or whatever it was. And the top of the leaderboard it was the who's who of golf, like at one stage. And I just think for a kid of his age, we were all big fans of him kind of anyway, pre-tournament. And the fact that he held it all together for me took the moment of the year. I thought it was excellent. Probably the major that I enjoyed the most competitive, so much going on, and just outstanding golf. And fair play to Morikawa.
Nice. Timbo.
I've actually gone for Sophia Popov winning the Women's British Open this year.
I thought this might be up there. Yeah.
304th in the world coming into that event. And I think either 6 or 12 months before, she'd actually lost her LPGA status. Yeah. For her to come in and win was just sensational and seemed to kick off this interesting flow of like first-time major winners that we've seen that seems to have continued in the women's game ever since. But I think it was just an awesome moment to see. You know, it was kind of like the romance, isn't it? Sort of coming from absolute obscurity and proving that anyone can win one of these things. So yeah, I thought that was just brilliant.
Nice. Okay, I feel like that might now have won it. For me, this is going to sound really bizarre. A moment that kind of like home for me was not hit home, but just was eye-opening was the post-round interview for DJ after winning the Masters. And where we all talk about this guy being like a robot and just doesn't do anything. And then all of a sudden in this post-round interview, just couldn't speak because he was so emotional and crying. And I thought, you know what, like that for me, not that I didn't think that he cared about it, but it just highlighted, okay, wow, he's obviously got incredible control over his emotion when out on the course. And then it's all like floodgates open and suddenly like how much it meant to him. And that for me I think that was really, really a really good thing to see. I think that was good for him, for golf in general. So for me, that was a big moment for me.
Quite like that.
But I think I like Sophia Popov some more. I think I like that nomination.
Yeah, I mean, she did come from absolutely, nowhere to go and take it. So I can't argue with it.
Sophia Popov, we going there?
Yep.
Tim, I'm assuming Tim's backing himself, so he's not going to change his mind.
My answer, yeah.
yeah. Nice. Well done, Sophia Popov, taking the win of Moment of the Year. Next one. Again, I'm interested to see where you won with these next two. First one, Champ of the Year. Timbo.
Easiest award for me. It was a no-brainer. DJ. No one else even close. Masters, FedEx Cup, world number one. Also won Northern Trust and Travelers Championship. Was second at the PGA Champs, maybe, and a few others. Just dominated the game. It was an absolute procession. Him winning the Masters, undeniably the best player in the world at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that. I went with DJ as well. With the Tour Champ and just annihilating the field at the Masters. Like I know there was a lot made of he had 2 rounds in the 80s at one point, and then he came back to come back. But I kind of feel like on the whole year, he's been there or thereabouts pretty much all the time. And I suppose it's probably quite an obvious statement. To be number one in the world, you have to. But yeah, I just think he was brilliant, and his all-round game is just bulletproof. You can do everything really, really well. So yeah, DJ took it for me.
I, without a doubt, had DJ. It was the only name that he put in the mix. So, yeah, DJs are going to absolutely take Champ of the Year. So that's nice and easy. Next one. Of the Year. Ben, let's go to you first. I have a feeling I know where this is going. Let's go to you first.
It's just so irritating. He's got a shit hat. The new Cobra marketing video with him in it is awful. The strop on the course that we spoke about earlier on, asking for an official, and asking for preferential treatment, or Phil got preferential treatment. Him having a go at the cameraman for ruining his brand. All the non-stop chat about him drinking 25 protein shakes a day. I'm just like, you're just irritating. You're an excellent golfer. You really, really are. You are brilliant, but you are far too annoying for my liking. You are Chump of the Year, Mr. DeChambeau.
DeChambeau gets Chump of the Year from Benjamin Fowlis. Timbo.
So I thought long and hard about this, and I really had to wrestle. Like at one point, I was going to go really rogue and left field, and I was just going to nominate like the BBC Sport golf reporting team, because some of their coverage has just been awful this year, to be honest. Some of the journalism's not been good. To be honest, and it kills me a little bit, I was really, really, really close to saying Rory on this, just because it's just another year where he's not back to. So it's there's a bit of performance, because yet again there's been a number of majors where he's put himself in contention and then folded, or he's had a shocking first day and then left it himself with too much to do. But it's also the fact that some of his chat around how he'll never be bothered if he wins, and he won't be bothered if he never wins another major. That for me, it was a real moment of the year. I was just like, what are you talking about? But on reflection, having rewatched Worst Shots of the Year, just some of the behavior that he demonstrates on the course, whether it be complaining about ants or his ball is not quite under the fence, so it's not technically out of bounds, or questioning the marshal's opinion. I'll just do it on those bases, because around the stuff around the media coverage around his body and number of protein shakes, in fairness to him, I don't know how much of that he is promoting himself, or whether that's just the media outlets getting hold of a story. So I don't want to put that in.
Yeah.
But it is some of his on-course theatrics, and also just how he seems so belligerent with some of his shot choices. Like, no, I'm just going to hit it. I know that, and I know he sort of said, no, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bomb and gouge. That's just all I'm going to do. Golf's about more than that. So yeah, Bryson.
What's annoying is he has clearly proven that this year. Like he is a prime example of someone who has. It's almost like he's got stuck with that bomb and gouge mentality, and yet actually, when it comes down to it, he's a freaking amazing short game player. So yeah, okay, interesting. So we've got DeChambeau. my first initial thought, my gut reaction when I saw it was, oh, it's Patrick Reed taking 7 swipes in a bunker to make his lie better. And then I had to Google it because I was like, was that this year? And it was like December 19th last year or something. So it was at the end of last year. So immediately scrubbed out. And then that made me realize how little I'd actually heard of Patrick Reed in a negative press this year.
Yep.
Well done, Patrick Reed, of not doing anything this year. Well done. Hats off. Or not,
2020.
just not being caught. And for me, it comes down to a lot of the. I think there was 2 that were in close running, but only for particular moments. Matt Fitzpatrick was a clear chump for me, and one comment around Bryson being like, I could hit the ball 40 yards longer if I wanted to. It sounded like a whiny kid. That for me was like, that's a bit chumpy. And then also, was it this year that Brooks slated DJ before,
Yes.
and then just couldn't play golf himself, like didn't turn up for the rest of the round? That for me, I was like, that is like chump material right there. You don't come a load of shit and then completely disappear off the planet on yourself. So don't back it up.
Yeah, but that also ties in with Bryson as well, because he gave Bryson a hot stick, and then Bryson just heated up, just started winning stuff.
And for me, I can't. And although that Bryson has done, I think, some amazing stuff this year, I can't get past his chump behavior on a continual basis of complaining about ants, complaining like all of what you guys have said. I'm like, come on, like get rid of that stuff. That is prime chump material. So for me, the Bryson took
clean sweep.
Is that the first clean sweep of the awards? I think it is, isn't it?
It was probably no great surprise to anyone either.
Bryson. I'm wondering if we've missed any other chump behaviour. So if we have, please let us know. I want to know if we've missed on any other chump behaviour. Okay, so that's the pros.
Yeah.
Although actually, this next one may or may not be pros. So this will be interesting to see where you guys have gone with this. Favorite course this year? Have you guys gone with your favorite course or favorite course the pros have played this year?
Mine favorite one I've played.
Favorite course we have played this year. Timbo.
Funnily enough, it was one of the first courses I played this year. As we've sort of touched on, due to COVID, we've not perhaps gone as far and wide as we would have liked this year. I would say my favorite place that I've played this year would be the Downs course at Goodwood. Just the setup, the clubhouse and facilities, the views, the vista, the fact of how well kept it was for January, spectacular. I just had a worldie of a day there. Just thought it was sensational.
That was a great day. Yeah, I love it. I would highly recommend it to anyone as well. Go and play it. Really good, really good course. Absolutely loved it. Ben.
So I went with a course that I played, and we've actually kind of touched upon it earlier on as well. The Wisley, can't look past it. I mean, there was barely a blade of grass out of place. It really is a classy golf club as well as golf course. So there's 3 nines there. I can't remember which routing we played in regards to which 2 nines, but yeah, it's just an immaculate place. Devastated. I took literally no game there and just donated golf balls left, right, and centre to the golf course, and I will definitely be keen to go back. But if you ever get the opportunity to go and play at the Wisley, do snatch that person's hand off and race there as quickly as you can, because it is an experience for sure.
Amazing. Okay, so for me there were 3 in the running. For me, Goodwood was up there, Camberley Heath was up there, and Northants was up there. Northants and Camberley, I think, I feel like they're on a very similar piece of land, if not like I feel like they're quite close together. Both like lots of heather around, I think. And Goodwood for me was just quite a different style of course that I'm not used to, like right on top of a hill, glorious layout. If I'm going whole experience, clubhouse, everything on Goodwood. If I'm going just course, I'm going Camberley. So for me, and I think that's partly in part because I just had an absolutely excellent day at Camberley golf-wise, and Goodwood I got eaten up by the course. So I'm going to go favourite course this year, Camberley, but favourite experience, Goodwood.
Maybe we can just award that sort of like three different courses to award that one to. I feel like we can't give it to one.
Well, I haven't played the Wisley, so I can't even comment on what that was like. But yeah, I would definitely highly recommend going to Camberley and definitely Goodwood as well. Goodwood was an excellent. I feel like Goodwood. We should do another day out. That was excellent. Final one. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this, and I feel like me and Tim maybe we'll have the same moment on this podcast. Who has had biggest gaff, the biggest screw up? Who's messed up? There's been a few. I'm going to level with you. And there was a moment where I was sort of going back through some of the recordings that I've clipped and saved in places, which I'll have to share one day. So who for you has had the biggest gaff, biggest mess up on the podcast? I'm going to go to Ben first.
I mean, I've got two nominations. Both are Tim related, unfortunately. Both are Tim own goals. Now, these two incidents. The first one is we've alluded to it on multiple times. The fact that he's one of the best golf players in the world, but yet Tim decided to leave him out of his European Ryder Cup team, and then a few weeks later he went and won. So yeah, Tim suggesting that Tyrrell Hatton would not make his European Ryder Cup team. That's my one nomination. And then my second one, it was quite amusing at the time, and I didn't know whether to correct him. Thankfully, you did at the time, Chris. Is when Tim was presenting, and he fully sent it, and he called him Brent Todd. and I thought I'd heard him say Brent, and I was like, no, I'm 99.9% sure it's Brendan. And then I think he said Brent Todd again a second time, and then that for me, I was like, right, I've not forgotten about those. So yeah, Tim's couple of own goals for Tom, Brent Todd, and Tyrrell Hatton.
You forgot about the time I said Adam Rye, not Aaron Rye as well.
I did. I had it written down. I was like, okay, so what I got written down, or Tim's problems with professionals' names. I couldn't remember the second instance. There we go. Brent Todd and Adam Rye.
Timo, what was your biggest gaff?
Yeah, to be honest, I had to self-nominate on this one. And I thought I couldn't get worse than when I said that Tyrrell Hatton wouldn't make the Ryder Cup team, despite the fact that he's now the 10th best golfer on the planet. But when you're running a podcast, or when you're participating in a golf podcast, and you're talking about the professional game, literally getting people's names wrong, not once but twice, is just pretty unforgivable. So I would nominate myself on not being able to get the correct name of golfers.
Yeah, I had three written down. Two of them.
But I know the other one I was going to say, which is not about me, which I think you're going to talk about.
So this made the short list.
An erroneous claim, I think this is.
This is called a story called "Getting Your Facts Straight" for a podcast about golf. Yeah, Tim, I'm afraid your two are definitely up there for me. However, the one that I feel needs special mention, it might have been episode 1, maybe episode 2. We're talking early doors, and you think, we're ready for this. We're planning, we're preparing, we're thinking, we've got to make sure we get this right. And Ben's describing a certain trip to Portugal, and comes out and says he's played what's possibly the world's hardest course ever, with a standard. Sorry, I think he said 86 or something. And I thought we recorded. I thought that seems high for any course, because that's 16 shots harder than what the course should actually play. And so after the pod, I went back and checked, and turned out it was like 74 or 75 or something. So sure, a tough course, just not quite the 16 shots extra that Ben was pitching. Difficult.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
So ever since then, I've been super careful to make sure I triple check any facts that I'm about to share on the pod. So I thank you for that moment. Ben, in all honesty. But yeah, that one definitely made the shortlist. But I'm afraid that one couldn't beat either of Tim's glorious moments. Not picking Chill Hatton is the moment of the year for me, mainly because as soon as you said it, both Ben and I went, "You're wrong." There's no other word for it. You fought it for about a week, and then we're like, yeah, he's an.
I fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I fucked up.
I fucked up badly.
I fucked up. I mean, I feel like it has to go to Tim for not picking Tyrrell Hatton. Yeah. Okay. So Gaffe of the year goes to Tim Williams. Maybe we should get you a little trophy that we pass around each year. Not picking Tyrrell Hatton for you, Ryder Cup team. Amazing. That brings us. Say that again.
I'll just have to wear that. I'll take that.
That brings us to the end of this year's alternative awards for golf, and actually brings us towards the end of the podcast for the year, which I think we're going to do one next week. I assume we're going to have a week off next week. Actually, what are we? Week off probably. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But that brings us towards episode 36. I want to say for the podcast for the year. So, guys, thank you very much for doing this podcast this year. I've absolutely loved it. Really enjoyed it. And I hope everyone listening is assume they're enjoying it because they keep listening. So that's great. So thank you for everyone who's tuning in. Apart from saying have a wonderful Christmas, guys, have you got anything else that you'd like to add?
Nothing more from me. Just a thanks very much for listening, and hope you have a very happy and safe Christmas and New Year.
I hope Santa brings you all of the golf goodies that you wish for this year.
100%. Yeah, I'm always excited to know what golf gears people get over the Christmas period.
Our group chat is so active on Christmas Day.
So I look forward to seeing the Sunday Red group light up with all different golf gifts that people have got over Christmas. So looking forward to that. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you very much for tuning into the show this year. You've loved doing it. Hopefully you've enjoyed listening. And if we don't see you next week, we'll see you in 2021. Catch you later.
Peace.